got a thing for the Wild West, I've got a thing for steampunk, and I like games if you didn't know, so a combination of the three wouldn't be a bad idea. So here's Darkwatch. Besides some annoyances, it's a solid shooter that came out at a time of blatant Halo clones and rip-offs, so it was promptly forgotten. The story follows the totally silent Jericho Cross, who robs a train that, unbeknownst to him, is carrying the vampiric overlord Lazarus, who, once unwittingly freed by Jericho, bites him, turning him slowly into a vampire. Not good. Luckily you meet up with Cassidy, a member of the Darkwatch who, promptly dies. Oh well, luckily her spirit works as the katana of the game, giving you hints, filling in exposition, and the sorts. Well, you need to defeat Lazarus before he destroys the world, and the only people that will help someone as messed up as Jericho are the gunslingers of Darkwatch, who, though they claim to be the forces of good, might not be so benign. There is a fair bit of world building that's going on, moving through a very horror-drenched atmosphere in the gunslinging, steampunk-inspired Wild West is a very original idea. The gameplay itself is not so original. The mechanics are identical to Halo. 2 weapons only, a powerful melee bash, and a light regenerating health system. Even controlling the typical FPS vehicle is the exact same as the Warthog. But this isn't a bad thing. The shooting is satisfying, the weapons are varied and meaty. The basic armaments look really good, which gives your arsenal a distinctive feel from other FPSs. Some weapons do feel a bit out of place for a 19th century setting. The forces of evil you're up against are a nasty lot. Banshees, resurrected outlaws, suicidal skeletons, blowing them away feels satisfying and bloody, as it always should. Besides the pointing and shooting, Jericho has access to some vampiric powers. The default ones are a zoomed-in thermal vision allowing you to pick out long-range targets, and a double jump which allows you to escape tough situations and reach elevated positions. The other more combat-oriented powers are unlocked via a morality system in the game. Saving innocents or freeing souls gives you different abilities, increasing the damage output for a short time, or turning some minions against each other. And it works rather well. The system is very similar to the light and dark side in games like Star Wars Jedi Knight and Knights of the Old Republic. It also impacts the story, giving you 2 different endings, so you want to pick an alignment and stick with it. The level design is fair enough for the most part. You explore crypts, classic western towns, canyons and mines. They're not particularly interesting or memorable, largely thanks to the never-changing atmosphere. It's nearly always at night, drenched in gloom, and filled with ruined stuff. You know, broken boxes and buildings, that kind of junk. Darkwatch's biggest problem is the lazy enemy placement in the levels. It's similar to Painkiller where you fight throngs of the same enemy type, but it worked there thanks to the player having high hit points and large open levels. Darkwatch has neither and it suffers because of it. The game often throws dozens and dozens of enemies at you in confined spaces where you can get easily caught on an object and get completely overwhelmed. Though you do get a nice amount of firepower, even on normal, you can die from just turning a corner and getting sniped or blown up by some skeleton you couldn't see. Just some parts of the game just go on and on and on like one massively boring gauntlet, with little diversity of challenge, which of course leads to more boredom. This is the worst thing an FPS could do. Look how long this takes, seriously. Thankfully you do have frequent checkpoints which keeps the frustration at bay. Even the story isn't all that perfect. The Darkwatch is apparently powerful, yet you only see them getting beaten up, even though they were the ones who captured Lazarus, the apparent son of Satan. Looking past that, of course, you can find a great level of polish and artistic flair that's not common in such a largely mainstream appealing game. It's a shame it never got a sequel. Something of a similar vein coming out now would be really appealing. Darkwatch can be found for basically nothing, so I can absolutely recommend it to anyone interested in taking back the night.